Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to One Hub Racing. We're here this evening for the ERT Monza Italian Grand Prix around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, a fabulous, fabulous circuit in the heart of Italy with the finest of racing history. We're here this evening for the Italian Grand Prix, of course, here in the P1 tier, and it's a low turnout again this week, folks, but we had a brilliant race last time out in Suzuka, despite only having a couple of numbers, and my fantastic co-commentator joins me once again. Matthew, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. It's always good to be back at the home of the Festival of Speed, and we'll see exactly how many 0-0 wing setups we're going to have out there on the track today. What looks to be a very dry week in the P1 tier, with a maximum of 20% chance rain in the race. But how are you?
I'm not doing too bad. That comment on the 0-0 wings, there is definitely one of them, and I can almost guarantee that there is definitely going to be one of these 11 madmen who will try it, because there's a few people who are coming back after maybe a week absence. We are meant to have Nathan Samba joining us as well. He was kind of in and out in the lobby, maybe some connection issues, so we do hope we get him in as well. But we're on board with your championship leader on the medium compound of tyres. It is FEO Jamie Mells, who ended up winning the Japanese Grand Prix, and he is your current championship leader. That is ahead of VSR Namsco, who's also here this evening, so our two title fighters are almost confirmed, purely based off of attendance. OP Tim for Haston in third on 34 points, followed by Samba, so we do hope we get him back in with 32. It's J. Cole on 31, Timo 25, Reiner Dahl 23, Lakitu on 21, Larkin on 21, Merckx on 20. That is from his one race win this season in the Chinese Grand Prix. It is Tico on 17. That's from his second place in the Chinese Grand Prix. But welcome along, folks. If you are just joining us, we have just started qualifying. We have 11 runners here this evening so far, and it should be a fascinating qualifying around one of the fastest circuits. Jamie Mells on the medium, so he plans on setting a banker first and maybe saving some of his soft compound tyres for the Grand Prix.
Yes, that's always a feasible option, because you never know when you're going to get a safety car, and the race will open up to you in that extent. Of course, you have Timo sitting in the pits with the hards fitted. I don't think for a second he's going to do any laps in qualifying with those tyres fitted, but it's certainly a good option with only 11 drivers in this session, or 10 and a half if the man that lagged out can't make it back in. But yeah, it's always worth a punt to go on the mediums, and maybe that can give you a better opportunity. But of course, to do that you have to get a lap set, and he can't do that on his first time around. Jamie Mells has invalidated into Ascari. Jamie Mells invalidating Cass on the soft tyres. He's been setting the purple sectors. Timo has a qualifying suspension for an engine change. That is why we will not see one of the Alpines out on circuit. Cass then heading through the curve of Alboreto, or as we always know it, the Parabolica. Here comes Cass then towards the line. Let's see what the Williams could say. It'll be the banker time of the day for absolutely everybody. It'll be 1:19.525 for Cass. Of course, was involved in a nasty crash in Suzuka, but he's recovered well from his virtual mishaps, and he has gone to the top of the timing sheets. Corey then is the man coming round the curve of Alboreto, but he's not on a lap as of now. Owen White now the next one to head through. Man traditionally quite decent at Monza. However, Owen White, will he become Owen White this evening? It's not going to be a representative time for now. He's 4 seconds off the pace as Jinx enters in towards the pits, and Namsco is about to start a push lap. So we're going to stick on board with Namsco, as he's one of the only few out on track as it stands. Or is Tim coming towards the line? No, he's invalidated as well. So here comes Namsco then, heading down the long straight here in the Autodromo with the Nazionale Monza, braking about at the 100-metre board. Oh, very late on the brakes and towards the Varante della Rete Filio. Short shifting up towards the third gear, and you want to be up to the fourth gear just on the exit of that curb on your right hand side. That's really the optimal time to upshift. Then take a bit of the green asphalt there on the inside. We won't necessarily see drivers doing that in the race, because they want to hold position around the curve of Grande. Braking for the curve of Della Roggia, you want to bounce over the inside and probably not invalidate your lap time, but I guess the AlphaTauri's no better, as that is an Amsco invalidating his run. Tim still on one, so we'll pick up where we left off here into Lesmo 1, taking it in 6th gear, sort of a high gear, but these modern day Formula 1 cars do require that. Lesmo 2, you want to just tuck over a bit of the grass on the inside, so the optimal line on the game, and just hook it down this left hand side, heading in towards the Verante Ascari.
which is, of course, the Ascari chicane. You want to cut as much of the inside as you can, braking just before the 50-metre board. Hook the car in, short shift up the gears as you bounce over the edge of the curb, and just about keep it on the inside there on the white lines on the right-hand side. Heading down towards the Curva Alboreto then. That's the next corner, on the final corner on the circuit. You want to just tap the brakes just enough to get the car rotated in without spinning, then power down as quick as you can. Get the car to the outside, instantly hooking the inside for a shorter line to the start-finish. And here is Tim across the line. It's going to be pole position. No, it's going to be second position for the man third place in the driver's standings. It's a 19.7 and a good lap overall from Tim. And of course thank you to Namsco, who we went on board with at the start of the run.
Yes, that was very, very seamless there, and he's going to go for another run home. Hopefully he can keep it very much between the lines this time around, because he will need to set a time at some point. And of course Owen Wyatt has set a banker time, not on the pace as we mentioned before, but Namsco takes a pretty tidy line through turn one, which is about as good as you can do for the, one of your first times through there. It can be very easy to overdo your braking, but he seems to have done that quite well.
Owen Wyatt has the purple sector so far here. It's a 26.120 for Owen Wyatt. We'll see Namsco's coming up on screen. Tim has actually just improved. So Tim, he's backed off, but he did actually set a purple sector on a lap. Oh no, hold on, TAS is glitching, never mind. It is two drivers who have the purple sector seemingly, and towards Lesmo 2 then for Namsco, and heading down under the old banking on the curve there, Serraglio. You can see there, that's the old banking now with a Crypto.com sponsorship. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. In towards the Ascari chicane then for one of three technically home teams here. Of course Alfa Romeo Sauber run under a Swiss flag, but Alfa Romeo Italy, you kind of get the two. And AlphaTauri, of course, based in Firenze in Italy, very close to Imola, very close to multiple circuits, very close to Mugello as well, but nevertheless are in Italy. Here comes Namsco to the line. It's got to be pole position. It absolutely is. It's a 1:19.474. Oh, just look how close that is at the top. We may not have that many drivers here this evening, but it's still as close as it ever here in the P1 Championship.
Yes, it's always going to be close in this tier, and that is fantastic effort from Namsco to get provisional pole position, despite the fact Taz says he doesn't have any purple sectors at all, so that is quite a lap there.
Here comes ERT Larkin to the line. He's going to go fourth for the home faithful. The Scuderia Ferrari to Fosi. He's going to be passing left and right on this circuit. A track with a mass amount of following. Is this Jamie Mells coming towards the line? It is, but it was only to start a lap. It wasn't to go on one. Here he goes, passing the Williams machine on the right hand side and braking for the Verante della Roggia, the turn 1 and 2 complex. Hooked it in nicely as our championship leader for Haas Formula 1. He's had a good couple of races with some good performances in the One Hub Racing Sprint in Suzuka. And of course won that race with some brilliant overtakes around the outside, and 130R on Corey was a notable one from my perspective. 26.2 in the first sector. Not quite purple. And he's lost out just to Owen Wyatt there. It was a 26.1 in towards Lesmo 1 then. Two right-handers, very tricky. In towards the second, you can see you just got to hook that car on the grass patch on the inside. I know when I was younger, back on F1 2013, my dad used to tell me, aim for that green asphalt. Now the new cars with the downforce they have, you can hook a bit of the grass, so that's where you want to be. 53 flat, apologies, in the middle sector. For Jamie Mells, of course, that is the total time accumulated over the course of a lap. We currently don't have sector times for Montas, so unfortunately we're going to have to... we're not going to be able to tell you what it actually was, but we'll find out fairly soon as he enters the Curva Alboreto and heading towards the start-finish line. Not the best run out of there, actually, for Jamie Mells, but it is a good enough lap to knock his title rival Namsco off the top of the pole. No, it is not, and he drops in behind his teammate with a 19.8, just ahead of Corey, who's not improving on his current run. Lakitu has invalidated his second lap for Alfa Romeo Sauber, and Merckx, our Chinese Grand Prix race winner, he's kind of dropped off the face of the earth since then, but he's back this evening, heading in towards the Della Roggia chicane.
Yes, and Tim has prepared his car to do another fast lap. He's just devalidated his out lap, but that's not a problem because he did it at Ascari, so he'll be able to get going as he rounds the Parabolica and hooks it up for a nice run to see what kind of time he can improve by. A few tenths should put him on provisional pole, with just under 8 minutes to go in the session. I think the times are going to be fast and furious as the session rolls on now, as Jinx is out on track as well. So we will see quite a few people in the 19s very shortly. I'm very sure of that.
Here comes Merck, then we're having a look as he heads in towards the Ascari chicane. It's not been the best of laps, actually. It's a 53 flat in the middle sector. You can hold my words, because that's a great middle sector from Merck. It didn't look too promising in the first sector, but he certainly picked up the form heading in towards the Curva Alboreto. It is going to be the Williams to possibly take pole position around a track Williams are usually strong around. Lance Stroll 2017 springs to mind. Very wet conditions that day, but a great qualifying nevertheless. Here comes Merck across the line. It's going to be a 19.6. It's enough to put him third just behind his teammate Cass. The two PC guys clearly proving that they belong here in One Hub Racing. Tim enters in towards the Varante Ascari, named after the famous Ferrari first world champion Alberto Ascari, and Tim is on a very good lap here in the Haas. He's currently beating his teammate who is in the championship lead, but Tim still in the championship fight. Don't take him out of it. Through the Curva Alboreto and heading towards the asphalt. Just look at the Haas. It just wants to kick out, but perfect car control from Tim means it does not. Across the line goes Tim. It is provisional pole position by a monstrous gap. 0.5 of a second for Tim. And it is an 18.957. First man into the 18s today, and that's a statement on the board if I've ever seen one.
Yes, that certainly is a statement for the team that is in front of the Constructors' Championships.
Can Namsco beat it? Oh, he can't. Namsco cannot beat it. Or is he just starting a run? May just be starting a run, actually. The good old glitch. As is Larkin completing a run. Larkin, I think, is completing a run here because he's only 3 times. No, never mind. It's a 2-minute lap from Larkin. He is completing a lap. I'm not wrong, really, but it's certainly not a flyer. As Merck seems to be pushing here on a second attempt, but I imagine he's going to just trundle into the pits, and he absolutely is. So we'll take a look at. Oh, hold on a second. We've just seen Jinx go around in the Ascari chicane. That was Jinx who we were popping on and off with. He's just gone round there through the Ascari chicane, and that is Timo retiring from the session. Timo, of course, has a qualifying suspension for an engine penalty. Of course, if you're not too sure on the One Hub Racing rules, we do have engine penalties. I believe it's 229 laps at a guess that the engines last, and you have to serve 1 engine penalty a season because the season is longer than that amount of laps. Oh, Namsco with a huge bobble over the curb, and that's what happens when you take a raised curb here around Monza very quickly. That is Namsco, who's almost lost the car, but he's headed through Ascari. He was 0.2 of a second up entering the corner. He certainly lost a lot of time. Whether he'll back into the pits or complete the run, he's got to complete it here. Doesn't opt for the right hand side pit lane. Here comes Namsco across the line. It's a 1:19.3. It's an improvement. He's lost time with that bobble, and unfortunately he's going to have to wait for his final run if he wants to try and steal pole position here. Larkin is improving. Never mind. He's spun it there through the Curva Alboreto, and that is the stranded Ferrari into the wall. He's lost the front wing, kept all 4 tyres. He can get a new front wing with all its specs on it and go back out for 1 run to please the home faithful.
Yes, he certainly can, but I'm a little bit confused as to why Namsco, having had that massive mistake, wouldn't then go in, as that was probably a good opportunity for him to do so. Yes, it is quite a short track here, but I think he may have missed a trick there by not immediately boxing after the error, which has certainly hindered his preparations for the final 4 minutes of the session. But it's been a fast and furious session so far, and there's a massive gap there from Tim, and Namsco possibly could have beaten it, but we may never know at this point. But Tim will be looking for a strong performance as he's sitting 3rd overall by 21 points to his teammate, although Haas, as we mentioned earlier, are leading the constructors by 24 points. So it is a strong Haas pairing there, but will Tim be able to hold off his teammate or anyone else for that matter to see if they can take the win in the race?
Oof, Jamie Mells, please calm down, son. That is a monster of a middle sector, and Jamie Mells is 0.6 up on a lap, and this could be Haas's day once again. They are not unfamiliar to fantastic qualifying performances. Tim, of course, crashing out in the Grand Prix last week in Suzuka, picked up no points for it. Let's see, can Jamie Mells knock his teammate? It's once again not the best of runs through the Curva Alboreto, but he may have enough in hand anyways. Across the line, is it going to break into pole position? No, it is not, and he's still in the 19s. It was still a monster lap from Jamie Mells to put him ahead of his rivals, but the only man currently out on circuit in Monza puts himself in towards a Haas 1-2. It is OP Tim leading this one now, just like Suzuka. It was Jamie Mells who led it, but OP Tim won the sprint race and then, of course, was leading a bit of the Grand Prix, but DNF'd as we've cars trundling out of the pits. Not too sure if Jamie Mells will actually get one more run in. He's opted to go for it on a clean track, and I wonder, will we get to see any slipstream shenanigans sort of like 2019? It'll be interesting to see. If you're just joining us... Oh, what's that, Matthew?
Oh, Jamie just put a wheel on the grass. It looked like he was going to create into the wall, but he managed to have a good save and a correction there. But he's definitely pushing to try and get around again.
Yep, he certainly is. Of course, if you're just joining us, welcome along, folks, to One Hub Racing P1 tier. We are live from the Autodromo di Nazionale in Monza, and we will wait and see who's going to take pole position here. It is currently OP Tim on top in qualifying around the Temple of Speed, a 5.793 kilometre circuit, but the fastest average speed over the course of a Formula 1 hot lap. Speaking of hot laps, Larkin about to go on when he's heading through the curve of Alboreto. We'll see what the home faithful like of this one. Larkin, he needs a good run. He's had a poor exits out of the curve of Alboreto. It's not a bad one this time to go and start his lap. Jamie Mells just enters the pit lane, a minute and 42. He's pushing it. He really is pushing it. Has been the last garage as well. Is not beneficial for the Briton. Here comes Larkin then. Braking for the first chicane, really late on the brakes in that Ferrari, but he's got it stopped. Larkin very good on the brakes, as we saw in his P2 title fight last season with current teammate J. Cole. J. Cole not here this evening, so it's only three Italian cars out of a possible six on the grid if you can't count Alfa Romeo. Larkin 0.3 of a second up here in the first sector. He needs about another second if he wants to go on pole position, but I'm not too sure if pole position is the sight that Larkin sets. There's a yellow flag as that's Jinx backing off to try and start a qualifying lap. Of course, we only have 8 times on the board, and Owen White is not really representative, as that's it for Jamie Mells. He wasn't going to get back out on track, clearly, and that will be his final attempt. So if anyone can somehow knock Tim off, it will not be his teammate, as Larkin heading in towards the Ascari chicane. He's still improving, but he's lost a bit of time actually in this sector. He's lost only about third of a tenth, as here comes Larkin then heading in towards the Curva Alboreto, or the Parabolica corner. Old banking merges into it. Not nowadays, the old banking's not really in use, but 30 seconds to go in qualifying. It's the Scuderia Ferrari home team who we are looking at head around the final corner, and across the line. Where can Larkin put this Ferrari in qualifying? He will get a spot out of it in the end, but can Corey knock it off? Corey will get another run in because he hasn't validated this one. Next man to cross the line, Namsco starting a run. After that is Lakitu. Is he wrapping one up? He is wrapping a time up. Where's Lakitu going to go? He's going to go to 6th on the grid. Not a bad time at all from Lakitu. Owen White is improving by 4 seconds here, so this will put him about 5/10 off pole and in towards the top 5 if he can get a good run out of the Parabolica. The beautiful looking Aston Martin, I have to say, here in this Italian sunshine, is going to head across the line, and we'll see where it puts Owen White, the Northern Irishman. He's going to go to P3. He's second row on the grid. That's a great lap from Owen White. What about Jinx? What can he do? The ERT man representing ERT. Only 3 of them here tonight. We'll see where Jinx can put this McLaren. The Papaya team always run well around Monza, and he's going to go to 5th. It's a top 5. It's not a bad end to a poor afternoon from Jinx. Here comes Cass across the line. Was on provisional pole in the early parts of qualifying. Can he somehow take it? Oh, he's put it close, you know. He's gone to 2nd. He's put it oh so close. What about Merckx? Can his teammate go one better? Improving by 4/10 of a second for the Ascari chicane. What can the Williams do across the line here under the Pirelli bridge? He'll make it 3rd. What about Tim? Can he improve for an absolute monstrous qualifying? No, he hasn't validated. And will we see anyone else improving on their time? Namsco's about 3/10 of a second up. This one could be oh so close. Could the Italian car knock the Haas off the pole position here in Monza? Namsco, he's left it late. He's really left it late. Is it good? It's not quite, and it's a 10th of a second off pole position. The only man who could knock him off is Lakitu, who's 17 seconds down on a run, and OP Tim is going to take pole position here in One Hub Racing. That is only time in the 18s, and it is an excellent one at that.
Yes, it was done fairly early on as well. There was still quite a lot of time to go, but people just couldn't hook up the remainder of their laps. You saw some pretty monstrous sectors, like I think it was Namsco at one point had an amazing sector 2, but he just couldn't follow that through with the speed and the control. But yeah, that's a fantastic pole position for Tim there, and that will give him much needed confidence ahead of this race by 81 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, he left it really late, as OP Tim takes pole position. The Dutchman, with Cass starting 2nd, Namsco 3rd, Merck 4th, Jamie Wells 50, dropped all the way to 5th in the dying parts of qualifying. Williams with a good representation. Owen White in 6th, Jinx in 7th, Lakitu in 8th, Lark in 9th, and Corey in 10th, and then Timo, of course, serving his qualifying ban. We don't have to scroll down, so Cam, you don't have to shout at me this week, as we only have 11 runners here in One Hub Racing, but nevertheless should be a great Grand Prix. And of course these great Grand Prix would not happen without our fantastic One Hub Racing sponsors, and just like every week, I'm going to delegate this one to Matthew.
Thank you. And of course, sponsors and partners, or partners and sponsors, whichever sounds better to your ear. We do it both ends. But of course, the sponsors are Next Level Racing, who sponsor the league by providing prizes, and Pure Sim Gear, who sponsor the league by providing a new product not launched yet to the driver with the most podiums. That's an exciting initiative for the drivers to take there. And of course, Gamergoo, back for another season, who sponsor the league by providing Gamergoo samples to trophy winners. And we have Assetec Sim Sports, who sponsor the league by providing a multitude of prizes with different ways to win them. For example, the driver with the most fastest laps wins a set of Forte pedals, and the driver with the shortest combined qualifying time wins a set of Forte pedals and boots. So that's quite an amazing prize as well. And our partners are Vespertine, who support our official apparel. We have ERT, who partnered the ERT Going Gets Tough Award and the league trophies. And of course, we are powered by SimGrid. We run our seasons through their community and platform, and we have everything in one nice little one sheet really, where you can see everything we need to know, and people that aren't going to be here ahead of time, and of course all the TAS people that work on that to give us the telemetry data for the drivers, so we know exactly when drivers have damage that isn't necessarily reported by the game. So those are our wonderful partners and sponsors, and thank you to everyone. And who you're looking forward to seeing most on track this week, if you're in the chat watching?
One sheet is all it takes to give results to me. Possibilities. We're here in Monza. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the worst introduction to a race you will ever hear, but there's 20 seconds to go around the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. 11 corners around this fabulous circuit, with 4 to the left and 7 to the right. The lap record currently belongs to Rubens Barrichello, 1:20.1046 in 2004. That's a race lap record, of course, folks. It is 84% full throttle. Exceptional statistics as we're going to get underway in the formation lap. If my singing did not deafen you, maybe this grid rundown will. Tim is going to start on the medium of compound of tyres. He's gone different to the man behind him, Cass, taking his first front row start of the season. Namsco will start third in his hunt for retaking the championship lead, with Merck starting on the softs as well. Jamie Mells on the softs once again, followed by Owen White, who will also start on the softs. Jinx, Lakitu and Larkin on the mediums, Corey and then Timo, softs and hards respectively. Timo going for the hards he was on for all of qualifying, however he did not come out on track, so he will be okay. That might be the quickest grid rundown we will have in a while, so please enjoy it while you can. Of course, make sure to enjoy more fantastic One Hub races. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, make sure to pop a like and follow all our social channels, and you can join our friendly Discord community. If you want to have a chat to me and Matthew, you're more than welcome to. However, we will not be replying during Christmas Day, so please don't do it then, as no race next week, of course, because of that fantastic Christmas Day. Maybe Next Level Racing is dropping something, or should I say Santa Claus is dropping some Next Level Racing presents for you. Hopefully the man in the red suit is nice to Matthew and finally gives us our Gamergoo that we've been looking for the past 2 seasons. Here we go then, heading through the Ascari. Matthew, who do you fancy for this one? Because it's quite a difficult one to tell, as Monza's usually pretty hectic.
Yeah, so expect a lot of pit stops and possible safety cars, but I think the one that I'm going to be focusing on today is the man starting from P8 in the Alfa Romeo, and that is Lakitu. So Lakitu will win today's race. You've heard it here first. Lakitu
will win today's race. It's an interesting prediction. However, I always do enjoy your predictions, Matthew, because they're not boring, and they certainly give some excitement. Of course, a circuit located in the north of Milan, except for the 1980 Italian Grand Prix. It has hosted every single one since 1949. Of course, the first one being an unofficial, as Formula 1 did start officially in 1950. Our Alpines get us lined up here on the front row as we get ready to go here in Monza. 5 red lights. As we go racing here in Italy, Cass has got a much better launch off the line, and you can already see he's alongside the Haas in towards turn 1. Brilliant start from Owen wide there on the outside. He's got a monster run here into the Della Roggia chicane. Cass runs a bit deep, but it's a good block pass on Tim as Namsko's on the outside of the man on the mediums. Namsko gets the better traction. Namsko's up to second position here in the early parts of the Italian Grand Prix. Owen wide after a fantastic start. He's not got the second phase of it correct, and he's dropped down now to 7th position in towards the Della Roggia. This is the Della Roggia chicane, not the first one, for the first time. Namsko a bit out of shape. Tim looking solid on the mediums as there's cars round. It is marked in the wall. It is Jinx round, and that's 2 already fallen here in the opening parts of a fantastic race start in Monza. Cass leads then for Williams here as we head down to the back straight. First lap almost already completed. The biggest gainer on lap number 1 so far. It is Lakitu, Larkin, Corey and Timo all going up to positions as Cass then leads us in towards the Ascari chicane for the first time. All settling down a bit nicely here as Namsko getting a little bit out of shape. The 2 Hasses look like they're going to scrap for it, and of course that is the disadvantage with 2 drivers in the championship battle. They're going to fight for it.
Yes, they're certainly going to fight for it, and I'm sure they'll be more than prepared for what their teammate may or may not be about to do. But I've just noticed that Jinx has slight damage on his front wing there on the right side, I think it is. Yeah, right side with 8% damage to that as Cass first across the line.
Here comes Jamie Mells. Jamie up the inside of his teammate. That's really late on the brakes from one of the Hasses. He's on the better tyres, so probably a good call from the Haas Formula 1 team to swap round Larkin and Corey. Larkin being bumped over the curb. Max Verstappen-esque by Corey, but it seemed a lot cleaner than those two did. And Corey is now up to 7th position on the softs. The softs getting the much better start clearly here around Monza as we see them bouncing over the Della Roggia curbs. And very, very tight line Namsko took through there. However, still looking good so far, Namsko. He's only 1 position ahead of his title rival. So the 2 championship rivals are going to go at it here.
Yes, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that. And of course I've noticed a few grey clouds up above the track, but there's no real threat of rain at this point, and the track temperature is now 31 degrees with an air of 24. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of places still to be won for some of these drivers, but Jinx didn't feel the need to pit yet, so clearly he feels that he's still got full control of his car, so that is great to see.
Once again here on TAS we only have tyre information for 2 people, so we do apologise for that, but Jamie Mells is looking to try attack Namsko. Namsko's looking to try attack our race leader. The man in P3 is the one who set the fastest lap. His DRS is now enabled. May see some late braking manoeuvres here into turn 1. No DRS on this occasion, but on the next lap we certainly will have that extra launch on a car within 1 second. A huge mistake from Cass. He's under real pressure here, leading. He's not really led much this season, but certainly has the pace to do it around Monza in that Williams. Namsko just teeing up the Safina back wing of that one. Doesn't fancy looking at that drink sponsorship for any longer. Heading through the Della Roggia chicane. Namsko is just going to have to sit behind for the time being here on lap 3. However, a very short race really at Monza. The shortest race ever in Formula 1 was here in Monza. Michael Schumacher winning it. And it's a very short race here at 50%. So Namsko, he's going to have to take his chances when he can and not be sitting behind. Because we've seen here in One Hub Racing in the past people sitting behind losing their chance. Tom Roberts was one of them, I remember. A season ago, big mistake from Jamie Mells. Championship leaders all over the road. Championship leaders all over the road. And championship leaders dropped off the pack here. Or the front of the pack necessarily. Lost the spot to his teammate on the mediums. And Jamie Mells with a huge wobble through the Ascari chicane. Got it wrong once. Got it wrong twice. Very, very lucky to not spin around, and obviously thought here it was the WRC event that takes place in Monza, and he doesn't go spinning. Namsko looking for the race lead here. The AlphaTauri is going to go up the inside of the Williams and in towards turn number 1. He's going to take the lead of the One Hub Racing P1 Tier Championship, and the AlphaTauri is now through.
Yeah, sometimes when you see someone overtake like that, I'm always worried they're going to slightly make a mistake in the braking zone, but Namsko seemed to have done that pretty perfectly there, so that is a great overtake to hold on to the position for now. But how much can he hold off Cass, as he will be looking to get straight back past him? They're both on soft tyres, of course, so they won't have much more use in this set left. Maybe a couple of laps, if that. They may pit this time, they probably will pit the next time around. But that's bad news for people like Corey and Merck, who aren't at the front of the grid at the moment. But Corey is pushing all he can. And there's a car off in the foreground. That is Owen White, I think.
It's Owen White.
Wheel on the grass, I think.
It's Owen White. He's gone through Lesmo number 2, and that's unfortunate for Owen because he was running in a fairly decent position, but he's gone round as the Aston Martin. He's not the first to make a mistake this afternoon. He certainly will not be the last here, as we are about to enter lap number 5 already, folks. It's been a quick one. Not much overtaking action so far in Monza, but it's usually a track that provides, so I would expect something to come up in the Graveline. And now we see these cars at full commitment down the straight. Jamie Mells is looking to come back from that early mistake, as we see Corey into the pits. Really early stop here, but of course the 2 stop does promote that.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's another mistake there for...
Oh, that's Tim. Oh, Tim! That's another mistake! Just like Suzuka, the man battling for the race lead, has gone off, and we didn't quite catch you. We were having a look at Corey in the pits. Oh, Tim, that's not good. That is not good from Haas. He's left his teammate stranded up the top now with the 2 big dogs, and we'll see how these soft runners go, as he's now stuck behind Lakitu, as Lakitu very slow through the chicane.
Yeah, that's just probably down to the medium tyres, and he's seen a few drivers make a mess of it around him, and he's determined not to be the next one to make that mistake. So you've got to give credit to a driver for that. Maybe it's a little slower than some drivers may prefer, but at the same time, he's doing everything he can to focus on his race, which is what you need to do. Is he going to be close enough? No, he's not gonna be close
lifting off actually towards the Ascari chicane, so it's a no-risk strategy from Tim. Will it be no risk, no reward? He has Larkin hot on his heels, and Larkin certainly won't have to accept an invitation twice. He'll be first at the party door when the doors are opened here. If Lakitu somehow keeps Tim behind. Lakitu with an arguably better run through the Curva Alboreto, but this slipstream here in Monza is powerful. It is powerful. It is monstrous. The Haas with the straight line speed of a goddess coming down the straight as he gets the job done. No idea what a goddess's straight line speed looks like, but Tim is through, and that might... My goodness me, my quotes are getting worse as Jinx is past Merck to enters the pits here.
Yeah, thank goodness it's Christmas soon, so perhaps you can find some even worse ones out of a cracker or something.
The straight line speed of a goddess, what does that even mean?
Answers in the chat, please.
Yeah, please, if you're watching, just please give me an excuse for that horrendous quote. I would love someone to make a compilation of my horrendous references so far this season. I'm practicing them, I'm getting better at them, don't worry. It's not William Shakespeare commentating here in One Hub Racing. As Jinx made a bit of a mistake, and now Owen White is back on his heels. Owen didn't seem to get damaged from his crash. He's still keeping with the cars who have not pit yet.
Yeah, that's surprisingly the
only
only
mistake from
damage
Cass. Bit of a mistake from Cass, I think. He's certainly lost some time to our race leader. Jamie Mells is he's looking to attack, and Jamie has made a few mistakes this race. He's certainly not running error-free, but he's running a lot better. Oh, into the pits goes Cass and Jamie Mells, and Amsco's left out for dry.
Yeah, and of course Tim is in trouble there as well, because he can't double stack on this game. It doesn't work as smoothly as it does in real life, so he's had no option but to go again.
Yeah. He's going to hang around for another lap as yellow flag sector 3. It's Owen White who's gone again, actually, and he's going to have to trundle into the pit lane.
Yep, and that's exactly what he does, just right on cue. So now we have Timo in P5 on the hard tyres. Most of the other field are on mediums, apart from Namsco out in front in the lead. Will probably pit this lap, and whatever Owen White goes on to.
He probably pit this lap as there's a bit of a battle out of the pits. Jamie Mells is looking to get past Jinx. Jinx all over the road in the exit of the Rettifilio chicane. Turn 1 and 2, of course. Here through 3 and in towards 4. These guys are just trying to get their tyres up to temperature, it seems, as Jinx is gaining on Cass once again, despite having that poor run out of the Rettifilio. But in towards Lesmo number 1, these tyres should well be up to temperature for the Williams in front, and Cass is hunting for the undercut. Whether he makes it work or not, that is a good question. You've got to do a 2-stop here in Monza, so he certainly... It's not as simple a strategy as in normal league races, where it would be a soft to medium even, or medium to hard, hard to medium. Your usual boring F1 2022 league racing strategies. Jinx has to lift off here as he was attacking Cass, and Jamie Mells really close to the back of this McLaren here. As Namsco does enter the pits, Jinx off the road, Namsco, Jamie Mel's apologies, is through, and now OP Tim leads this race, but is it going to be for long, because here comes Lakitu. It's going to be a dive bomb up the inside into the Rettifilio, goes for the dummy pass, not going to work as Tim nails his braking, and we'll see where Cass comes out. Here comes Cass through the final corner, here's Namsco exiting the pit lane. This one is going to be really close on exit. There is Cass, here is Namsco. Cass is going to have the much better straight line speed as Jinx is retired from the Grand Prix in the pit lane. Namsco gets out in front of the Williams, but Cass is going to have the better tyres. Brakes really late because he wants to keep within this DRS window. He'll have the better tyres. This Namsco will still have to try and heat these bad boys up, and Cass will he'll gain, but he won't gain enough, and he'll have to stick behind for the time being. That's a very weird retirement, that, from Jinx.
Yes, it's particularly strange as everyone that finishes will get a point tonight, given the turnout, but if he wants to go and go to bed an hour earlier than he would do, that's really on him, but it's a strange one. But he's retired in the pit lane. We are down to 10 runners, and it's very, very close out the front. There's 3 cars within a couple of seconds of each other. You have Tim, Lakitu and Larkin, and of course 2 of those drivers have battled before.
Yeah, and Namsco is on the soft compound of tyres compared to Cass and Jamie Mel's mediums, so Namsco's going for the mediums at the end of the race. These 2 guys are going for it in the middle, and they'll go for the softs presumably right at the end, and Jamie Mel's is pressuring that Williams into a move. Battled, of course, last week in the ERT Suzuka Japan Grand Prix. As heading down the main straight, look at Mel's gaining. It's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Jamie Mel's is on fire. Cass may be terrified here in towards turn number 1. The Haas gets the job done in towards the Rettifilio chicane, and Cass is going to just settle behind now, but it's not the worst in the world. To get the double slipstream and get the DRS, he'll have another go on the next lap, surely.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure he will, but that reference is a lot better.
Yeah, that was better. I've heard that song every week for the World Cup, and I really like that song. So, Jamie, I hope you do too. In towards the chicane now, his own Wyatt sits the fast lap of Grand Prix, so he's not giving up like Jinx, who went for his early cup of tea and a rich tea. Very underrated biscuit in my opinion, but might have a bit of chocolate on it, as Tim, under pressure from Lakitu, picks up a 3-second time penalty, and you know it's bad when we start talking about biscuits, or specifically I start talking about biscuits.
Yeah, don't distract me with biscuits. I've got enough distractions as it is. I'm just checking my garden every day for a football to land in it.
Would that be Harry Kane's penalty?
It would be, yes, but I promised my friends I would never say that again. But
here comes Lakitu anyways, as he is going to try and blast past Tim. He's got the job done, and he didn't go for that late braking manoeuvre in towards the first corner. He will now, though. He's got the job done, and Lakitu leads. It's been a while since Lakitu's led a one-hub race. He will be feeling very nice here, as it is currently a Ferrari-powered podium here in Monza. They'd love it to end like this. The chances of it doing it are very slim, as these guys are on a different strategy. However, may work out for the best. Of course, it's a double soft these guys can go for now.
Yeah, that sounds feasible, but Timo is on the hard tyres, so it's very interesting to see what he can do, because he could have a whole different kettle of options there. With starting on the hard, he could go medium and then be aggressive with that and really kill the tyre and go soft, or he can just be a little bit more conservative on the hard and go double soft. It's really the world is his oyster at the moment, but Lakitu out in front, just like I said he would, and I feel good about that, and I hope that's not going to turn into... He's got a little bit wide there, but he's kept it out of the wall.
Nick Egan, if you're watching, red flag it. We finally have a correct prediction. It's been about 14 years, I reckon, since any commentator, including myself, has correctly predicted a one-hub race. So if you want to end this one now, Nick, we'd greatly appreciate it, as that lead's only lasted a lap for Lakitu, and he sped into the pit lane just to make matters worse. Larkin's got the braking correct into the Monza pit lane, and OP Tim now leads once again here, as there's 11 laps gone out of 27. Gap is now over a second between Namsco and Jamie Meltz. But it'll be interesting to see where Lakitu and Larkin come out, as Lakitu's gone for a second set of the mediums, and so has Larkin. So they're going for a double medium soft, clearly here. His own Wyatt picks up a 3-second time penalty. These guys are going to come out about where Corey is. Is that Wyatt into the wall? It is on Wyatt into the wall. Oh, that's a big one there. We didn't quite catch it, but we certainly saw him going into the wall at a rate of knots. That's unfortunately not. It's not been the best of afternoons, really. It's a lovely Italian weather, but the rain is pouring on Owen Wyatt.
Yes, although, again, no damage for Owen Wyatt, but I think that's probably a lie because I think he may have got rear damage, which makes the car an absolute tank to handle. So that's unfortunate for him. He's going to keep going the best that he can, but he is near the pit lane, so you might be seeing a bit of a... Yeah, that'll do it. He's in the pit lane far too quickly, and
yeah. Retirement. It's a second retirement, and we're down to 9 here in Monza. It's Owen Wyatt and ERT Jinx out of the Grand Prix. Corey's got the job done on Lakitu here. Corey is cooking on these mediums, clearly, as Tim picks up a second time penalty as he enters the pits. It's a 5-second time penalty this time, no, not 3 seconds.
It's like they don't know where the line is, like, because that's been happening all day across all the tiers. So I'm not surprised, but I am still surprised in the same token. It's a very tricky pit lane, as you see for yourselves right now, but Lakitu is lining up.
Here he goes. He's going to get back past Corey, and it looks like Tim's going to be coming out of the pits right at the same time. This could be an interesting one into turn number 1. Lakitu, oh, he's braked really late. Somehow got that car stopped without a lockup. That's a pure piece of skill from Lakitu, and it may not be an overtake or around the outside or a switchback or whatever, but that is still driver skill as its absolute maximum, and fair play to Lakitu for getting it stopped.
Yeah, you have to admire the... well,
all across the... Oh, never mind. Oh, commentator's curse. Oh, no. It's all gone wrong for Lakitu. Oh.
Anyway, yeah.
That's all gone wrong. That's all gone wrong in a matter of moments for Lakitu, and unfortunately the Alfa Romeo has gone round and he's dropped to 8th.
It's all gone quiet over there as well, because the all Ferrari powered podium is now no longer on at the moment. You have an AlphaTauri out in front with a Haas in second, and then Williams in third. So that is definitely the perils of this track right there. In about a lap and a half, this race has changed completely.
This is what Ross Brawn thought sprint races would be like. He thought it would be an AlphaTauri, Haas and a Williams on the podium.
That's certainly what he was hoping for, but we just get George Russell with instead. He used to drive a Williams, so I guess it kind of worked.
Kind of. Here comes Mert passing Corey. Mert has really been an underdog, I suppose, since his early collision. Could still be on for a good result here as he's up to 5th in towards the Rettifilio chicane. Lap 13 and 27, almost halfway through this race, folks. It's not been the worst of races so far. We could do with a bit more overtaking from our front pack, but they're certainly closing up a little bit now.
Yep, they certainly are, and I'm just keeping an eye on all the midfield runners as well. So that could be anyone from 2nd to 9th at the moment, given how this race is turning out. 9th could be leading the race in a couple of laps, if anything is to go by from what we've just seen the last lap or so. But Jamie Mells is settled down into P2, and Namscar will be pitting very shortly for some fresh, probably medium tyres with the aggressive soft stint in the middle of the race. Let's see what he does shortly. I think he may go one more lap, but if not, he'll be in this lap, and we'll see.
We will wait and see as Tim he's pushing on these softs. Cass is pushing to try to keep up with Jamie Mells, and Jamie is pushing to try and get with Namsco. Will this breed him error from one of these drivers? We will have to wait and see. It's very close so far here in Monza, but it's not quite as close as 1971, when it was the closest finish in Formula 1 history. Gethin won by 0.01 over Ronnie Peterson. Ronnie Peterson, really underrated driver, by the way. Excellent performer. Never really had the recognition he got because it was 1971, and a good 90% of Formula 1's viewers now probably have no idea who Ronnie Peterson is, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a shame. He was a very underrated driver, as you said, and yeah, after this race, go and check out
Google Ronnie Peterson. Go Google Ronnie Peterson. Heinz Harold Frentzen, he's another underrated driver in my opinion, and I'll think of one more before the day is over. But Jamie Mells has caught a good second on Namsco here, so whatever's happened to Namsco's tyres, they have fallen off the largest cliff you could think of, as Jamie Mells really pressuring in towards the Ascari again. Surely Namsco's in this lap, he can't go any longer on these. They are shredded as Jamie, he's looking to try and retake a race lead. He's not held here in this Grand Prix. Of course, started 5th in qualifying, or started 5th in the race from qualifying, and he's not really got higher than P2. Look at him up the inside. He's going to make this really difficult for Namsco. Namsco commits to the pit lane, as he rightly should. Good driving from Namsco, but could Cass maybe get the 2 and the 1 due to Namsco into the pits? He's got the slipstream on Jamie Mells, but Jamie has the DRS here. Will it be a late braking manoeuvre? Daniel Ricciardo-esque. No, he's way too far back, and he's made the clever choice of not going for the move. So Jamie Mells leads here in Monza, as Larkin is past Corey, so Larkin on a bit of a charge as well for Ferrari.
Yes, absolutely. He's charging, and he's done this before in a one-up race. He's no stranger to putting on a charge to get where he needs to be for the final stint of the race. And Lakitu seems to be holding his own from Timo behind in the other Alpine. So yeah, it's Ferrari Alpine, Alfa Romeo Alpine, and that is a bit of a tongue twister.
It certainly is. We have a lot of the blue cars still left in the race. We've Cass, Merckx, Corey, Timo and Namsco. I suppose Namsco, no, he's kind of a blue. Kind of a bluey grey, maybe. A dark bluey grey, I suppose.
That works for me.
Yeah, dark bluey grey and white. He's also picked up a warning for those interested, as he's just run wide through Lesmo 2. Cass is he's pressuring Jamie again, just like we saw on the last lap of the Williams Racing cars. We are well over half distance in this one. These guys will be coming in for the last pit stops fairly soon, whether they'll go for a soft compound tyres till the end. We saw they can do 6 laps and then wham, they're gone, as Larkin is going to make it another one. As Merckx in the pits, never mind, he's not going for the overtake. He was running fairly close, mind you, to the back of the Williams machine, but he's come into the pit lane. Corey then also into the pit lane for Alpine, so he's been fighting Merckx down on track. They'll have a pit stop battle, as we can see the Williams gets out ahead in this one. This promotes Namsco to 7th, and really if you pit, you're dropping to the back here, as we see Timo, bit of a tank slapper, as unfortunately for Tim, still to serve that 5 seconds in the pits, and he's also 5.7 adrift of the race lead he was battling for in the early phases, and it's been another drop off just like Suzuka. Of course, this one hasn't ended in his front right tyre being disintegrated, but still, could have been so much more from the pole sitter.
Yeah, he's certainly doing everything that he needs to do to extend his lead at the top of the championship, and of course Haas are now back to 1 and 3, so the Ferrari Barra podium is still back on again, although they've got to do something about that Williams in the middle of it. But I'm sure Larkin and other drivers in a Ferrari engine will be doing the same thing to do about it. But words have disappeared out of my head. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I got distracted Googling underrated Formula 1 drivers, and I will throw a name at you. Thierry Boutsen. How about that one?
Oh, good call. That's an excellent call. I like that one. Yeah, that's a good call. Matthew smashed it out of the park there, so I'll let you away with it. As underrated one-hub drivers, that's another question. As we have to wait and see who really develops as an underrated. Well, I think Ryder Dahl's a very underrated one-hub driver. And Colin Orr Mason, he's an experienced veteran of league racing. And Colin, I might just find he's a very good driver.
Yep, and a lovely bloke as well.
Oh, top gentleman. Top gentleman. Couldn't find a nicer bloke. He's also Welsh. I like Wales. Yeah,
they're very low-key people, I found. But yeah, he's definitely a very underrated driver, and always warms my heart when I see him do well every Friday night here in One Hub Racing. So, anyway, back to the
action. And not our one-hub waffle. Of course, if you want underrated Formula 1 drivers, Thierry Boutsen. That's the call. Thierry Boutsen and Ronnie Peterson. Oh, Jamie!
Oh, wow!
Oh, that's sneaky. That is sneaky. As Jamie Mells has sent Cass into the pits, and his teammates in the pits as well. Jamie, I'm not too sure if Cass was planning on pitting anyways, but Jamie certainly sent him, as Larkin is promoted to 2nd. Of course, Tim's going to have to serve that 5 seconds. Cass goes for the mediums. We can see the Haas crew hold, go into put the tyres on. It's still a 3 seconds for Tim, but it's not the end of the world, as Namsco is going to get out about a second ahead of Cass. So Namsco, the undercut, has still worked for him, and Merckx is going to get out ahead of Tim. So Tim Tim actually maybe last here in this one because Corey's on his outside into turn number 1, side by side as Tim's brake the later of the two. He doesn't want a Hamilton Verstappen-esque collision. And Tim now comes out of the race, or comes out onto the racetrack in last position. He's some work to do. His team is pressuring Lakitu. When will we see Jamie Mells in the pits? When will we see him go for a set of the softs? He has to go a little bit longer if he wants to, but it certainly could be what he needs if he wants to win this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I would say probably lap 21, 22 he'll start thinking about it, unless there's a very, very imminent safety car. He'll do it now, but I don't think he will. I think he'll go into the pits. There you go.
Into the pit lane goes Jamie Mells. I don't actually think we've had a crash involving more than one driver so far this race, apart from maybe the De La Roggia chicane on lap number 1. I didn't quite see it, but that might have been it. Timo's gone round at the curve of Alboreto. Beautiful 360, I must say. This is not Drift Masters or ever. This is Formula 1, and Timo's going to lose a spot to Namsco, who comes flying down the main straight to catch out Jamie Mells. Namsco, I think, is going to be miles ahead. There's the Haas just exiting the pits. Namsco is well in front in this Grand Prix. Cass may be in front of Jamie Mells as well by the time they get through the turn 1 and 2 chicane. There goes the Haas on the inside, and we finally have a comment on the stream. Jamie Mells has stayed in front here, but he's miles behind Namsco, and Namsco could be looking comfortable here for a win in One Hub Racing.
Yeah, he very much could be, but that depends on what Larkin and Lakitu do when they do their... That's a lot of rhyming going on there. When they do their final stops in the next few laps or so, and of course Lakitu will have to stay stationary for that very painful and very crucial 5 seconds for speeding in his first pit stop, but he's still out there, he's still going for it in P2. He's doing really good job at the moment, and he's just trying to eat the gap out to Namsco behind him, but don't go anywhere because this race is just heating up very, very nicely.
It certainly has, and we'll see what Jamie Mells can do in these much better mediums than Namsco. However, does have to dispatch Timo in front. Still left to pit. We'll get the pit stop graphic up on you for... Let's try that one again. We'll get the pit stop graphic up on screen for you now, folks. As people still to pit, it is Larkin, Lakitu and Timo, the only guys not to serve their mandatory second pit stop positional change. Your highest gain is the man currently leading the Grand Prix. It is Larkin who is leading for Ferrari. How Ferrari would love to end this Grand Prix with Larkin leading. Doesn't look like it's going to play out that way, though.
Well, not at the moment, but there is still time for him to do something. Again, as I say, there could be... a safety car later on, or imminent, or whatever. There could still be a safety car to change the fortunes of everybody out there. If you're last and a safety car comes on, you're right back in this. If you've got a comfortable lead like the leaders have at the moment, and the safety car comes, you can be cursing your luck, and I've been on both sides of it. So it's very much a lot of luck is needed to win around here, but of course you still have to be in position when it comes to lap 27 or 27 to win here.
As we see Jamie Mells and Cass going at it. Cass was really close into turn 1. Jamie's just pulled away, and he's actually gaining on Namsco and gaining on Timo. Timo out of shape through the Ascari chicane. Jamie Mells pressuring and hunting that Alpine down like a lion here. Jamie needs to pounce because Namsco's pulling away, and he cannot afford that man to pull away. He'd still hold the championship lead as it stands, but Namsco is on course for the race win with the two guys in front not serving their mandatory second pit stop yet. Here comes Jamie Mells and pulled to the right hand side of the Alpine, and the Haas Formula 1 car is going to get past here, and then we'll see what the gap is in front. It's 1.6 seconds. It is not an unachievable gap. Cass not able to get past Timo. He was able to dive Timo in towards turn number 1. It could have been a crucial move in the fight for this win. We've not really seen Cass battling for a win this season. However, he's certainly been on form. Of course, Namsco not winning a race. He's finished 3rd and 4th with a DNF in Japan, or it wasn't a DNF in Japan. As a result, however, was not on SimGrid, so I do apologise for that. Cass has got past Timo now. Timo's made a mistake. Timo's run over the De La Roggia chicane. He's run over the curbs, just like Lakitu did earlier on in the Grand Prix. And Cass, or Timo, apologies, unfortunately, does drop off this little bit of a battle, but he still does have to make that second pit stop.
Yep, and of course, it won't matter for drivers who aren't doing so well today. Usually, about this time we'd say, of course, remember to check the fastest laps, because the fastest lap in and outside the top 10. But of course, as we only have 9 runners at the moment, the fastest lap point would go to Tim with a 120.8, which is very, very much ahead of the rest of the field, but of course I think he's been on softs and exploited them at the right time. As Larkin
Larkin
is
in.
now in the pit lane.
Larkin's in for another set of softs. He suffered the pain on the mediums, and he's now in for the soft compound of tyres. Gap between the front two is 1.1 seconds. Jamie Mells fancies 2 in a row, as Cass maybe, just maybe, fancies putting himself in this fight. Cass, of course, currently sat 14th in the championship. He's finished 14th, 6th, and had a double DNF in the Suzuka Sprint and Main Grand Prix. He's currently running on the podium here in Monza. As I remember, in the last P1 season I commented on, Chalkers, he was a very similar driver, was battling for the win in Monza in a Red Bull, but he unfortunately didn't finish it. As oh, Evan, please stop commentating or cursing people. That's Cass gone out of the fight for the win, as he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Yep, it's that kind of track though. You have to be pixel perfect, and if you're just a slightly bit off it, that is what happens. You have to be aggressive, but if you're too aggressive, you will get a 3-second penalty. But of course, he's not the only driver out there with a penalty. But Lakitu has served his 5 seconds. He's now at the back, but he's on the quickest tyre of all. So how much? Well, having said that, he also gets a 3-second time penalty in pretty much the same spot.
Oh, Tim's off. Tim is off and round at the Ascari chicane. One Haas is battling for the race lead. One Haas is having a howler at the back, and Jamie Mells is within 1 second. He's within a achievable gap here, but we saw an AlphaTauri in 2020 defend for his life, defend for the future of his Formula 1 career. Will we see another AlphaTauri defend to possibly battle for a championship with the man behind him? Here through the Curva Grande, Jamie's gaining, he's gaining, he'd be a madman to go for it into here. He doesn't, he backs off and in towards the Della Roggia chicane. Jamie Mells just stays behind.
Very conventional overtaking spot, unless the driver in front is very accommodating, which Namsko was never looking to let Jamie by at that opportunity, with about 4.5 laps left to go.
Oh, look at this! Oh, this is true scrapping in towards the Ascari chicane. Mells goes for the inside, dummies him to the outside, side by side into the Ascari chicane. Jamie Mells is on the gravel. Jamie Mells has tapped the AlphaTauri, and how those two have not gone round is unbelievable. That is pure luck from both. Jamie's going to sit behind here, surely, in towards the curver. Alboreto, oh, he's gone for the inside. Namsko has to give him the space and runs on the green patch on the outside, and Jamie Mells takes a desperation move here up the inside, but it has worked. Namsko then in towards the slipstream and down towards the Rettifilio chicane, the Varante Rettifilio, for the first time that we've really seen a battle for the race lead here. Namsko not able to do it. Cass has been brought back into this one because of that battling. That was almost a silly place for Jamie Mells to go for it. However, it seems to have not worked out too badly for him.
Yeah, like I was saying, you have to have the car in front of you be very accommodating, as Lakitu is the fastest man out there, so that is an extra point for him. But yeah, I think I may have to rechristen that corner to a scary one after that, because that was terrifying.
That's good. I like that one. The Ascari chicane, as dubbed by one Namsko and FEO Jamie Mells. Jamie is pulling away. Can Namsko just about gain back? Using all the power of the DRS. You can see the AlphaTauri fashion, but rear wing closing. Sponsored by clothing. As Jamie, 0.5 of a second into the corner. Oh, he's ahead into the corner where he made the move in the last lap. Namsko's definitely better in this third sector, but oh no! He's not better in the third sector because Namsko's gone round at the Curva Alboreto. It's early on to say it, but is that maybe the championship deciding spin? He's not. He's going to fall off the podium. It's a Williams 2-3 here. They normally run well with a good straight line speed car. Namsko's bottled it at the dying seconds, and Jamie Mells may just be on for a victory.
Yes, it looks like Jamie Mells has had to ride the storm a little bit, but he's gone for his opportunistic overtake, and he's just about seen it through. And of course, the next lap around, Namsko has had an absolute horror show, and he's dropped off of the podium into P4, and I don't think he's got damage, but he's certainly scuppered his chances of scoring big today, and he needed to outscore Jamie Mills for the championship. It was only 11 points going in, but it's going to be a lot more than that going out if it stays as it is right now, but 3 laps to go to find out.
Yeah, Jamie Mills is going to be in a very comfortable position on Christmas Day in terms of the One Hub Racing Championship. Of course, we will be not here next week as a Christmas break starts, but the championship will still continue. He's almost a second as he's almost a second ahead of Cass as Lakitu picks up a 3-second time penalty. Namsko's going to be battling with Merckx to try and regain a podium for AlphaTauri. The only Ferrari-powered car currently is Jamie Mills on the podium. The only Italian car is Namsko in 4th, not on the podium.
Yeah. Struggling to get back into this one. He's still within DRS, but he's doing absolutely nothing for him as Merck is just sitting there in P3, comfortable and able to defend with the penultimate lap, and one more time to get that right, and I'm pretty sure if he doesn't get through there he probably won't at all. But Corey has a fight from Larkin, who never gives up, and Larkin is on the right tyre at the right time of the race, but can he get into the top 5? I think it's been a while since I've seen him have a race as strong as this, but it's always good to see Larkin in his top form.
Yeah, Larkin is a fantastic driver on his day. He's currently 9th in the championship with results of P8 in round number 2 in Portugal, and then it was P4 last week, but it was 9th in the sprint for Larkin. He currently has 21 points. This will be a big boost for his championship, and we'll see him go ahead of drivers like Ryder Dahl and Timo. It will be a good point scoring finish, certainly, for the Ferrari driver. Penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, or final lap of the Grand Prix actually, we're starting now, as Jamie Mills is going to start the final lap here in Monza. Lap 27 out of 27. Namsko is almost round again at the curve of Alboreto. The AlphaTauri's held it this time, and it's much better than the first attempt here. But that may be a chance of a podium gone. It's another mistake. Larkin's certainly going to look for a top 5 as Corey is just struggling on those tyres, but it's to be expected because Namsko's on the much better rubber. Here comes the Ferrari in towards the turn 1 chicane. Corey's certainly going to defend it to the inside and see what he can do here on the older tyres, but Larkin is just ahead into the break and so, but Corey's kept it in. Oh, the Alpine's kept it in. Oh, almost with a contact between the pair. Corey, has he got the better exit on the outside? He hasn't. That's just purely due to the tyres because he did get the better initial launch out of the corner. Still tucked in here though. Can he go for a move in towards the Della Rosia chicane? It's going to be the inside for Corey. This is scrapping for some ferocious points as Corey here on the inside. Larkin's going to try hold around the outside, somehow not making contact. It's fantastic battling. Oh, it truly is fantastic battling. But Larkin is going to keep this one as Cass is still right with Jamie Mills. But Jamie Mills coming near to the final corner.
Yeah, that was a terrific scrap there, but that's down to the grip that Larkin has at his disposal. Corey didn't do anything wrong there.
He didn't do
being on the medium tyre.
Anything wrong. Jamie rounds the final corner. Jamie Mills wins in Suzuka. He takes a second win in Monza, and Jamie Mills is your true championship leader. Cass smashes it across the line. It's a beautiful success for Williams Racing. They get back in the hunt for the championship. It's Cass in second, Merckx in third, and Namsko will have his tail between his legs heading to the AlphaTauri garage. Corey and Larkin still battling. Ferrari will have a top 5 at home as Larkin takes P5 ahead of Corey in 6th. Lakitu will come home in 7th as Timo will come home with a bit of a drift and a bit of a spin to end the day. As Timo will come home in 8th position. Tim's picked up another 3-second time penalty. I imagine he's pushing for the fastest lap here, as we'll wait and see, can he take it? It'll be P9 for Tim, so it'll still be some points for Haas. It'll still be some points for himself. Is the championship charge gone? Well, any more mistakes really in possible race winning positions, and it could well be, as Tim, he's not going for the fast lap definitely then, because he's spun it across the line, and the Haasman will finish in first, and the Haasman will finish and pick up the technical wooden spoon.
Well, Tim already had the fastest lap anyway.
Oh, did he?
So
Alright, I'm an idiot.
No, I was just double checking on the final corner, and I saw that he still had it, so I think that's why he just backed off, knowing that no one else had beaten it. I think he was on a good lap as well, but yeah. Anyway, provisional results coming up very shortly.
Here is the podium then. Jamie Mills, he wins in Monza. It's a great win for Haas, and they certainly look like the strongest outfit here in One Hub Racing Season 22 P1 tier. They have been absolutely exceptional. It's been, well, Jamie's been so exceptional, and he's taken 2 wins on the bounce heading into the break. He'll be oh so delighted with that one, as here is your full race results in Monza. JB Mells wins ahead of Cass in second position, Merckx in third, followed by Namsco in fourth, Larkin in fifth ahead of Corey in sixth. It's Lakitu, Timo, Tim, Owen White and Jinx, the bottom 2 of course being non-finishers. Matthew, who takes your driver of the day?
Yes, as always, fantastic races from a lot of drivers today, and some deserving more than others, but of course I'm going to have to go with Jamie Mells this week for driver of the day. And the question I'd like to ask him is, does 3 wins in a row just before the break really give you that extra motivation to keep on going?
As for my driver of the day, I'm gonna go for Cass. I feel as the question I'm gonna go for him is after a couple of lackluster performances to start the season, do you feel this podium gives you the confidence to mount a real challenge in the later stages? Well, Matthew's an interesting race. What's your final thoughts on it?
My final thoughts are: can we have this more often, please? Can we do this every other week or something? Like, it's just a fantastic race, and it never fails to disappoint. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers that didn't have such a strong end to the first half of the season all come back after Christmas, and how those that have a good first half will continue the momentum through the break.
Yeah, of course, speaking of that break, folks, you can join us back again on the 6th of January, where we head to the Sakir International Circuit in Bahrain for the ERT Sakir Bahrain Grand Prix. Then on the 13th of January, we head... Oh, Friday the 13th. That could be a weird one. We head to Marina Bay in Singapore for the 6th round of the season. Then we head to Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix on the 20th. The 27th of January, we head to Paul Ricard for the round 8. On the 3rd of February, we head to Montreal, Canada. And then on the 10th of February, we head to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix in an exceptional way to end what's hopefully an exceptional season. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, folks. We do hope you enjoyed this One Hub Racing Season 22 Pier 1. Wow. I've had a masterclass tonight, folks. P1 tier race in Monza. Stay safe, stay well. We wish you the very best. And do come back to us and join us on the 6th of January for another fantastic One Hub race. See ya.